Hello everyone, welcome to another week. This is Peter. Welcome to Australian Real Estate News Weekly Highlight. And before we start everything, you can see the decoration here. Happy Chinese New Year. 恭喜发财. This is a good year. It looks like the real estate is booming. And just as the year of the ox for Chinese New Year, looks like the market is going up and up. Thank you so much again for you to tuning in to see this, and thank you for our sponsor, Plus Agency, who are now based in Chatswood City, looking after all your real estate inquiries, from reselling to project marketing to purchase existing land and house packages. This is another exciting week, even though the weather today is actually pretty rainy in Sydney. The weather has been really turbulent. It's going up and down. People doesn't know how to wear. Wear a jacket is too hot, remove it is too cold. But the market is going consistently towards one direction. So with no further ado, let's start to have a look what happened this week. All right. So first one is our good old eastern suburb in Sydney, Bellevue Hill investment of Seven Networks executive Bruce McWilliams sells in 8 days. It's no news anymore that eastern suburb is the hottest area in Sydney. And then whenever the market starts to come back, the eastern suburb are the first one to go. And here is another sale that just happened 8 days after the property was launched into the market. And it just definitely sold before the auction started. The place is at 110 Victoria Road in Bellevue Hill, not very far away from the Scott School. The sold price was not disclosed, but I was told it was well above the price guide of $8.5 million. And this is just another amazing day for the eastern suburb. But looks like now it's really not a matter about how hard the property is to be sold or how much working to do it. It just really depends on whether you have a listing or not. And if you have a listing and it is available, it will be sold. If not in 8 days, very, very quickly anyway. Yeah. Next one, Randwick suburb, record has been smashed as well. Again, after this house was sold for $7.3 million. Randwick is not actually a suburb for big houses. They're not an area with big prices, but $7.3 million in Randwick is yeah. What can I say? Another amazing result. They will stand through the auction, and then the location is number 8 Bishop Avenue in Randwick. Yeah, this is the inside of the house. The pool was the big feature. Internally, it was almost brand new renovated. So a lot of work been done to the house, but like I said, there's no ocean views, there's no water features, apart from the pool. It's not the area where you generally see your typical $7-8 million price tags, even though it is in the eastern side of Sydney, but it's always been this little undergem in that area. But looks like now even Randwick start to come out the market, and then this house, it's not a luxury house, but people nowadays are in the hurry to get into something with a piece of land, and looks like this type of property are the one that people are interested. That's how it's got the result. Okay, keep going into eastern suburb. Not just your upsizers, not just your families buying into the places. People are buying into the areas, as a trend at the moment. A lot of fashion stars, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people working in different industries. If they can get a piece of the eastern Sydney, they will. So this is another one, a celebrity purchase, $3.5 million for a ground level unit. So it's not something with a water view anymore. It doesn't have the usual harbour bridge or the water view where before normally it's only the water view apartments or something with a significantly wow factor to it will have a $3.5 million tag as a unit. And now it looks like the price is just go there whenever people needed it. So this is something that she needed, and it's something she paid for. And I really think that $3.5 million unit it's not just it's not the peak of it. There will be more to come, and we'll see what will happen for the apartments without a view later this year. So like we discussed earlier, it was the houses first to go. Now after the houses, it will be the townhouses and the apartments, units, and then the ones with the view will be the first to go. And then it looks like now we start to touch the market with ground level apartments. Some of the courtyard will get sold as well, and later on will just become a uniform price increment across the board. All right, Sydney auctions. North Shore wreck sales for $900,000 over ambitious reserve. So this is another ringing day. You can see there's a lot of umbrella in the background. And then there's particular terrace that was located in Cross Nest, which is a really wrecked home. Not as bad as the other one we see last week. We're just completely a trash garbage house, which I will talk about at later news because it has been sold and the price will wow everyone. But coming back to this Cross Nest home, it is a good location. Cross Nest is a good area. We go there to buy food all the time. There's a big Woolies down there. It is a hub for all the people living North Shore to catch up, to eat and drink. And then there's a lot of beautiful restaurants. But for a broken down house, which is completely uninhabitable, look at the condition of the kitchen, to be sold at a $900,000 above reserve is still quite insane, even for Lower North Shore. Not to mention, the actual reserve price is already $2.1 million for this particular property. And then it was still sold $900,000 above the reserve, which makes the end result $3 million for a property that still requires at least another $1 million to go through significant renovation before people can even go in and inhabit the space. So this is absolutely crazy prices. But also it just shows how much interest, how strong the market is. There are 150 people sort of went through the inspection, and 25 registered bidders has been registered for the auction before it started. And then looks like a lot of people sort of start to hurt hurdles at the middle of the 2.1 and 2.2 and $2.3 million increment. But at the end of the day, one really strong bidder comes out and paid $3 million for this terrace home in Cross Nest. Next one, house packed with rubbish gets surprise result after auction with no reserve. We've been talking about this property for a few weeks now. It is a completely trash place. The owner looks like he's a hoarder who's been holding a lot of properties into it, and then a lot of rubbishes, and you can see it's right here. And then it was meant to be having a price guide about $1 million, but the agent literally put no reserve price on it to making sure that even technically it can still be sold for $1. The auction will still move ahead. And then what's amazing is opening bid was $1 and followed by $500 bid, and then went to $500,000. And then rapid fires offers, and then push up to $1.3 million mark. At the end of the day, this particular place has been sold for a crazy $1.51 million for this place in Earlwood. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? So that actually shows that it's just Sydney market really doesn't have a lot of stock available on the market at the moment. And then people are tuning into whatever they can buy, especially in the land section, something that people can rebuild. Another story to follow up. So after this whole junkyard house has been sold, we're looking for the next one. So there was a very famous place in Greenwich, which is in Lower North Shore, Sydney. It was a hoarder's property, and he's even got a mummified body in the home while they were cleaning things out. And I believe it was related to some sort of murder, and it was like one of the murder victim in that case. So it's come to quite a bit of a shock when this has happened. And now this place has been knocked down by the previous purchaser and putting it back on the market with a beautiful concept art of a 2-level, or if you include the car space, it will be 3-level. home with a beautiful pool design in it. So let's see how much this place at 31 Greendale Street, Greenwich, will get sold eventually. Before we close up the day, there's two things we want to talk about as well. First thing is for tenants, it's still a good time to negotiate on the rent. The rent has been dropped in the market for quite significantly over the years. Especially after COVID happened, the border closed, no students, no migrants, no travelers. A very strong support pillar of Australian real estate, especially the rental market, has completely disappeared. And that's why the rent has been dropped between 20% to 30% in a lot of major areas. And some areas like CBD has taken some significantly hit this year as well. This is just unfortunate that this has happened. However, now the border is still going to take some time to open. It's still a good time for the renter to take the last opportunity to negotiate on cheap rent. So if you are renting, take advantage of the last absolute opportunity. Once the vaccine rolls in places, once the border is open, the first thing everyone want to do is just jump on the plane and start to travel to beautiful places like Sydney, like Australia, and the prices in the rent will have no doubt but only go up. Last of it, Sydney home sellers were at least early this year in best position to advantage of the hot market. Not saying the second half of the year wouldn't be better, but at the moment it's absolutely a firecracker market. If you are in Sydney and you go to any sort of area, if there's 100 people standing on the street, it's probably an auction. This is just how hot the market, regardless it's raining, it's hot, it's sweating. If it's 35, 36 degrees, doesn't matter. People still go there and waving their hand to buy the property they want to buy. A lot of auctions will have more than 10 bidders register for purchases and end up with crazy prices, like the Junkyard house has been sold for over 1.5 million, which would just be unexpected in any circumstances whatsoever. So the market has shown significantly strong in this particular time. Auction rate are almost clear to close to 90% on every single week basis. If you are a seller, if you want to sell, the first half of the year would definitely be a good time for you to list your property on the market, because no one knows what will happen in the second half of the year. So take advantage while you can. For now, the market is still very strong. Okay, so that's ends up for the whole news article. Again, if you like our video, please make sure you subscribe, comment, and forward to your friends. And your support is the best motive for us to keep doing Australian real estate news in Snapchat. All right, cool. And thank you for everything. Happy Chinese New Year again. I'll see you next week.